Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Carrie Simpson. A special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Pan-Caribbean Sugar Company Limited under the microscope. St. Mary family seeking public's assistance to finding relative. And later in sports, World Athletic refused application for 11 athletes, including 4 Jamaicans in switch of allegiance. Thank you for joining us. Now the details. We have enough in stock. The Ministry of Agriculture is assuring that Jamaica has a healthy lobster stock amid fears of dwindling. Details in this report.
The Ministry of Agriculture says its last survey indicated Jamaica's healthiest stock of the Pedro Keys holds over 2,000 metric tons of fishable lobster. Only 300 metric tons of that is allowed to be fished. The explanation is in response to the concerns that Jamaica's lobster stock could dwindle if unscrupulous fishermen find ways to circumvent the latest regulations, allowing individuals to sell lobster in the closed season once those lobsters were caught in the open season. But not only is Jamaica's lobster stock healthy, says the minister, he's adamant the changes are necessary.
For too long, our fishers and fishing communities have operated within a system that created an unintended contradiction. They harvest spiny lobster lawfully during the open season, investing their time, their fuel, their labor to bring in a legitimate catch. Yet the moment the closed season begins, that very product becomes commercially stranded. Fishers who did everything right find themselves unable to sell, store, process, or export what they have lawfully caught. The system did not distinguish between illegal harvesting and legitimate stock that was already in circulation. It also created a gap in the market during the closed season.
Close to 200 companies, groups, and individuals have signed up before the cutoff period, April 8.
The level of compliance signals that stakeholders are engaging with the regulatory framework and strengthens our ability to effectively monitor and account for lobster in circulation.
Adjustments to the regulation come in the weeks immediately after Hurricane Melissa. Some of these people will now get a much-needed commercial lifeline.
The new regulations, Madam Speaker, also introduce a structured process for export activity during the closed season. Persons must apply to the NFA for authorization and provide details outlining the intended export. It ensures that the export activity is based on declared and verified stock and is conducted with a clearly defined regulatory framework.
The authorities insist the punishments in place remain a suitable deterrent. Persons in breach can pay fines of up to $3 million or 2 years in prison.
One of the big changes, Madam Speaker, is that for restaurants, hotels, storage facilities, they have to keep detailed transaction records for their lobster sale for at minimum 3 years. These requirements support a system where lobster moving through the market during the closed season can be properly tracked, verified, and inspected.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
Head of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Audley Gordon, says the agency has made significant progress in clearing debris following the passage of Hurricane Melissa last year. Speaking at yesterday's Infrastructure and Physical Development Committee, Mr. Gordon provided details on the work done so far. Hurricane Melissa, which impacted mainly western parishes in October last year, left a trail of widespread destruction, resulting in the National Solid Waste Management Authority going into overdrive. Executive Director Audley Gordon reported that thousands of truckloads of debris have been removed. Hard-hit communities such as Catherine Hall and West Green in St. James required sustained and intensive intervention.
What we are seeing now, Chairman, is significant reduction. Significant. We are not claiming any victory or taking a victory lap, but we have seen significant reduction after we can account for 30,000, close to 40 loads of debris that were removed by the NSWMA. And again, to emphasize that the work continue.
Mr. Gordon said that to manage the overwhelming volume of waste, the NSWMA implemented innovative strategies, including the large-scale deployment of laborers across the affected communities.
It was important that the people who suffered so badly in these areas, that we find ways to incorporate them into our operation. So you will notice that we also did a labor-intensive fortnightly program with a collaboration with the SDC, where we took people on machete men, worker men, chainsaw men, common laborer, to help clean up communities. And that went for 4 fortnights. And that was at a cost of over $214 million.
Despite persistent challenges, Mr. Gordon credited strong government support that assisted in operation.
By the time we get around to Christmas, you remember that Melissa was the back end of October. And by the time we get around to Christmas, we have exhausted the $500,000, and the government quickly pumped in for debris management another $1 million. One time? $1 billion. Please, thank you. One day I'll get there, Chairman, with the billions and the millions. So the government quickly pumped in another $1 billion for debris management. And that is what carried us to this point where we are now.
Meanwhile, the NSWMA also engaged farmers and scrap metal operators during the cleanup phase. The agency said items of value were identified and made available to support their recovery efforts. Now, the approach was also intended to help these groups get back on their feet by allowing them to salvage materials that could assist in rebuilding their livelihoods.
Mr. Chairman, it is important for you and the team to know that we didn't get to move any of those chipped woods, because once we chip it, farmers take it up, trucks were coming and taking it, which is a good thing because we wouldn't have enough storage at our disposal facility to pack everything in. But I'm told that it is good for farming and mulch, right, whatever, and for chicken, people who do farming, chicken farming and so on. So we found that was a good way to get a high percentage of the debris off us. We also engaged the scrap metal trade, and they were asked to do their own visits, look at where they would have seen things that are valuable to them, and they are doing that.
The Pan-Caribbean Sugar Company Limited in Frome, Westmoreland is under the microscope following a viral social media video of a man who purchased sugar bearing the company's logo, claiming the product contained metal particles. Now, the Westmoreland Public Health Department has confirmed that the issue is now the subject of an investigation being jointly done with the Bureau of Standards. TVJ's Kimberly Petty spoke with the parish's Chief Public Health Officer, Steve Morris, a short while ago.
The plan is that they'll have they might have to close so that they can rectify the situation, whatever is happening with the borough. Products that have already gone out, we'll have to recall if they have gone out already.